So for part B of this video, there's just going to be some more tips on how to create space, and it's mostly going to be just real life footage with some commentary.
Space, but now you want to play between the back four defenders. Watch the player as the ball moves around. You can already see the center back and the fullback starting to lose track of him. He stays level with the last defender, so when the ball comes in, he stays onside and gets a nice shot away. Now look at the defenders looking at each other to see who was supposed to mark him. Now this sort of thing works really well in the middle of the field too. The ball comes out to the sideline and the midfielder just puts a nice ball behind the defense. From that angle it looks like the forward just outran the defense, but that's not really what happened. You can see the forward between the center backs. One of the backs steps up to put him offside, but the other one is running back to cover the long ball. The forward stays level with that one and stays onside. Then, because the ball comes in at an angle, the forward can run straight onto it. Now that brings us to the next key point, which is creating space by moving. The easiest way to do this is coming back to the ball. In this clip, the midfielder runs at the defender to make him back up, and then he comes back into the space he just created. The defender follows him, so he just taps the ball back to his teammate. Next, we see the forward coming back to the ball again. This time, the defender stays at home because he doesn't want to give up that space behind him. This leaves a big space open behind the forward, and he just turns and shoots. On the next clip, we see the winger with the defender right on his back. He comes back and gets himself into the passing lane. The defender follows him, but this time the winger turns into the middle, and he just about sneaks the ball behind them to an open runner.
Something I also want to highlight in this clip that I didn't touch on yet is how important it is to take a touch away. Notice here how he took a touch and put his back on a defender who was all over him, and if he took a touch in any other direction, would have been able to give the defender an opportunity to break this play up.
Another way to create space is by changing directions. For this first clip, the winger is already moving back to the ball. He's in good position to get an easy pass, and when it comes, he puts on the brakes. Right there, you can see the defender still coming forward. The winger does a quick turn, and the defender's momentum takes him right out of the play. Next, we see two attackers running straight ahead into the defense. The defender just has to drop back to stay with them. Now, this forward keeps running straight, and the defender follows him like he should. But this one just bends his run a little bit to the inside. There, you can see the two defenders who were marking him still going backwards. That whole space right there opens up just because of that little inside cut. The last and probably the best way to create space is to change your speed. Here we see the midfielder just jogging up with the play. The defenders are jogging back with him, but then he just accelerates past them. With that much of a head start, it's almost impossible to catch up to him, and that forces this defender to come inside and help. That draws him away from the winger, who is now wide open. Now this sort of thing works really well for forwards too. Here you can see the forward jogging back with the defense, and then he just bursts ahead. Still onside when the pass goes in, he runs down in the corner behind 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders. So you see, it doesn't matter if you're outnumbered. If you can get behind the defense, you always have the advantage. Now I hope you noticed from all these clips that most of those runs were not straight ahead. Straight runs do have their place, but not all the time, and here's why. So here we have a standard back four. The defense naturally wants to drop back to protect the space behind them. So if you just run straight ahead, you basically go exactly where they want you to go. Each defender takes a player that comes in their area, and it makes it all too simple for the defense. But running at angles makes it a little bit more difficult for the defense to know who to mark. Once you get between two defenders, both of them have to decide who's going to mark you. And this forces them to think about whether to stay in position or whether to follow you. So this is how it looks on the field. The ball comes out to the side, the forward runs diagonally and pulls the center back with him. This creates a space behind him, so the winger cuts in and attacks the space. Now watch what happens to the two defenders. The center back realizes he's out of position, so he drifts back to the middle where he should be. But the fullback is man-marking the winger and ends up following him inside too. And guess who that leaves open? Now, in this clip, the ball goes to the outside again. There's a nice wall of defenders here, but there's still space in the corner behind them. The forward accelerates right into that space, and it's an easy pass into the corner. Now this is a classic way to get past a defense from the sidelines. Look at it from another angle. Ball comes to the sideline, The defender takes the inside position because he doesn't want to get beat inside. And this leaves a nice passing lane into the corner. The forward runs onto it. The defender has to make a desperate tackle just to stop the play. Now, if you are going to run straight ahead, you still need to get away from the defenders. You can see the forward here. He's running straight, but he fades away from the defender until he gets close to the box. The important thing is just to get some space between you and the defenders so you're not so easy to mark. So that's it for now. I hope this helps some of you understand how to position yourself and move a little better. If you don't remember anything, just remember these 3 points. Always move around so that you're an easy target for your team and a hard target for the other team. Secondly, always look around so that you know what's in your area and where you can go if you get the ball. And finally, don't run straight all the time. If you remember those 3 things, you'll be a much better player on the field. So make sure you try these things in practice and in games so that they just become routine for you. Okay? We'll see you at practice.
So the only thing that I wanted to also touch on was also to make sure you take that touch away from a defender. You can pass out of a bad situation, but also keeping your back to a defender and taking that simple touch away is also something good to always keep in mind. But other than that, that wraps it up for part B of our spacing.